So let's talk a little bit about what I've been doing. Freedom Watch is a show that's on the internet every Wednesdays. It's with Judge Andrew Napolitano. I'll be telling you a little bit about how we got this show together, how it can help you get attention on a national scale. We've launched an exclusive interview series called LPTV. That's our YouTube page. I'll be talking to you a little bit about that today too. And I've been able to network with high-level politicians and some of the most prestigious think tanks in the world in Washington, D.C. just by simply working very hard to make good connections. I've been able to network with people like Cato, Americans for Tax Reform, the American Conservative Union, the Leadership Institute, Reason Magazine, ACLU, the Marijuana Policy Project. All of these organizations I've been very slowly and insidiously working on building up relationships with so that we have a resource of people that we can call on to help you that are our friends. So if we don't have an organization locally, for example, so let's say that Students for Liberty, who my friend Alex McCoven has a resource that I don't have, and you need to get a campus organized, and we don't have a libertarian group in, say, Missouri for some reason, then you can call me and I'll get you in touch with the Students for Liberty to get you the resources that you need. So the whole gist of my presentation today is to show you what we have at National that you can make use of and to open up the lines of communication to you so that you can feel free to know me, know who I am, know what I can do for you, and that we can work together to troubleshoot whatever your local problem is. I thought this was just a funny story, like how just absolutely unprincipled some of these people are in D.C. I went to this think tank. It was during the bailouts, and the White House sent an emissary to come and try and convince all these old boy conservatives that we really needed the stimulus package and that we really needed to pass it. And about half of the room supported it and half the room didn't. And the only way that I could get into this think tank, my boss said at the time, is that I kept my mouth shut the whole time, that I don't say anything, just because there's just, they didn't want to have a bad reputation for the party, But I remember I was sitting down and there was this guy sitting next to me, this older gentleman, and he was for it. He wanted the bailout, and I was against it. We're scribbling notes back and forth furiously. And he's like, we got to do this, we're going to do this, we got to have it happen or our entire economy is going to collapse. And I'm like, it's not, it's a lie. They're going to steal all the money, they're going to give it to all their rich banker friends on Wall Street. And he's like, no, we got to do this. And finally, at one point in time, I just wrote down on a piece of paper, I was like, let me ask you something. Would you take out a debt, a $10,000 debt in each of your kids' name just to cover your losses on the stock market? And he thought about it for a second and he just gritted his teeth and scribbled, yes, wrote back. And that was when I knew that, some of these people really are just absolutely corrupt and they do need to be done away with. And it just solidified my commitment to work for the Libertarian Party, to have an outside approach, to just get rid of these people, get rid of these parasites, these people who call themselves conservatives. It was a conservative think tank. And here was a guy from the Bush administration coming to try to sell us on the bailout. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about what we can do. LPTV, let me show you what I've been doing here. Now, a consistent and strong media presence is something that shows that an organization has power, that an organization has strength. So I used to do Ron Paul videos, and I used to work in the entertainment business in New York. And so what I did was I created this YouTube page for us of consistent, high-quality interviews with opinion leaders and libertarians to show people that there is a Libertarian Party, that we are constantly out there, that we're doing things, that we're putting out things into the mainstream, that we're affecting the zeitgeist. And we've built this really nice YouTube page with high-quality interviews with people like Bob Barr. This is a person, her name's Melissa Dawson, and she's just a volunteer that's come in. She wants to work for the Libertarian Party. She works for the Home Shopping Network. So I was like, well, you know what? You look good on camera. This is the type of thing that you'd be perfect for. Would you like to come in and help us out? So she spends her own time and money coming into Washington, D.C. once every 2 weeks to conduct these interviews. And as we've started to conduct more interviews, we've been able to raise more money. Every time that I release a video, I ask for money. And every time I send that out to people, they say that they show that we're actually doing something that's going to make good use of their money. And we raise money. Now this one here, this video raised me $400 just by producing. It didn't cost me a thing. It raised me $400 and allowed me to get another camera so that we can have more higher quality productions and higher quality shoots and send out interns and build a production team that's job is to go out there to get more interviews. Now LPTV, if you guys happen to be in the Washington, D.C. area and you want to come by the office and do an interview, we'll do it. We'll talk about whatever the issues are, what it is that you want to do. This is a great way to get your message out to the masses, and it doesn't cost very much money at all. Yeah, did you have a question?
Yeah, just had a real quick point.
Absolutely.
I know you can't pay for the internships, but internships usually only last a couple months, and it'd be hard for somebody to move out from Missouri to Washington to find a 3-month lease on an apartment or something. Is there any kind of a support system there for if somebody does show up, like the interns maybe find a place to cohabitate while they're there?
That's something that I've started thinking about, is trying to build a scholarship program, and I'm going to make the initial donation to it once I get it in place. But having some kind of resource to make it more attractive would be great. But so far right now, I have been able to find people who are putting themselves out of cost to come and work for us at LP National. Not everyone can do that, but I'm going to talk to you specifically about a young law student who's actually moving here this summer to work for us for free. And she'll be able to help us with legislation, the states with legislation to fight bad legislation and help maybe even write new legislation. So we'll definitely talk about that. But yeah, I would like to eventually have a good, full, strong, paid internship. But the name of the Libertarian Party itself is good enough to get people to come and work for you for free. If you advertise effectively, people will come. If you build it, they will come. Give them something to work for. Give them goals, give them things to do, make sure that they always have things to do, that there's always something going on that they can work on, whether it's educating themselves, or whether it's just doing research or updating spreadsheets. If you keep them busy, if you build it, they will come. So let me get to my next one here. So anyways, yeah, so LPTV to me is a good example of something that the states can emulate to get your message out. So all you need is a camera like this, decent little room, and something interesting to talk about. And that way, all you have to do is take your little YouTube video, get your press contacts, email the press with your video, and they may pick it up and run the story with it. That's certainly happened to a lot of the things that we've done, and that's something that you can do at a minimum of cost. Just the camera, a nice interviewer, somebody who looks good on camera, who can interview someone, and zip zap, you've got a solution right there. Coalition building in DC. The libertarian organizations in Washington, D.C. Have started to build an alliance that we call the DC Forum for Freedom. And all that we talk about in terms of specific plan of actions are all off the record. But what I can tell you is that the libertarian organizations are starting to put aside some of the old bad blood that existed. For those of you who are in the know and understand some of the divisions between the libertarian organizations, the youth that have started to come into some of these organizations in the DC don't have all that old bad blood. And we started to have these monthly summits where we simply get together and we start to realize, discover how can we help each other. So that's been very exciting, and that's something that my interns have been working to put together to build stronger cohesion amongst libertarian organizations and to get out some of the old divisions and the bad blood. Now this, in order to help facilitate activism nationwide, I've brought on these interns this summer whose jobs I told you is to help you out specifically. And we're harnessing the organizational power of the web that costs no money. And these are the type of operations that you can run from your basement.